Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Bitcade. It is, we're recording this in 2020, but where you're listening to this, it's back in 2021 now, or forward in 2021. My name is Ryan E. Moore. Joining me, like always, is
Ashton.
And joining us as special guest is...
You're Tyler.
Yeah, Pluviio himself. He is here. He is ready to go, hopefully, yeah?
No.
Okay. It's a new year. It's a new year by now. What do you want to say to your future self now that you're like, it's 2021? Would you say?
Get more sleep, dumbass. That's
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
I thought you said get more pussy and ass. I was like,
We're on that type of time too, but that's not this podcast. I was like,
That's for the next episode.
how to get women 101.
Who's leading that course?
Oh my God. We're already kicking it off. It's like we never left. Yeah, it is it's back, man. And we took a very big long hiatus. But I think, we had to focus on some stuff, reestablish ourselves, especially when Mixer went down. We had to kind of rebrand a little bit just to kind of go with like, what are we going to do? And I think Ashton, I think we did a pretty good job switching over to Twitch over the last couple of months.
Oh yeah. We're doing our shit. We're fine.
So we're back and trying to make more YouTube content again. The podcast is back. It will be starting to be posted as audio forms as well. So in this episode, we will be talking about Game of the Decade. Yes, I know we were going to try and finish that in by December, but hey, you know what? We made it to here, and we've established what games are representatives for each of the game, and then we will talk about what we chose as the representative of Game of the Decade. The PT Awards, like we traditionally do, we have awards such as the PT Plays Award, which is the video, the PT Plays video that did the best last year in 2020, PT Video of the Year, Happy Accident, Brown Star Award, Hall of Fame, Game of the Year. It's all going to happen in topic number 2. And then in topic number 3, we're just going to talk about 2020 itself. We took a couple months off, so we could recap 2020 and then talk about some 2021 highlights that we are hoping for. So, let's go into it. First topic.
Yeah.
Game of the Decade. Are you ready for this? I feel like what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read off all of them here, and then you can talk about some of the, you both can talk about how you feel about all of these games as the representatives, and then we'll hone it back into what we've narrowed down to, and then deciding which game will be it. Does that sound okay?
All right.
Okay. 2010, Red Dead Redemption. 2011, Minecraft. 2012, Diablo 3. 2013, GTA 5. 2014, Destiny. 2015, The Witcher 3. 2016, Dark Souls 3. 2017, Fortnite. 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2. And 2019, The Outer Worlds. And those are so we chose a game to represent that year to compete against all of these other games as what would be representing the decade of 2010 to 2019. That's what we've chosen. Ashton, how do you feel about the games we picked so far in this lineup here?
I like most of them.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's a good start.
Yes, I've played most of them. I don't know, a lot of them are pretty solid. I mean, a lot of them age pretty well too. So they're pretty good competitors for Game of the Decade. So it's pretty interesting. It's gonna be close competition.
Do you want to explain what we did for 2018 and 19 as the people are probably frantically trying to figure out where those lost episodes went?
What did we do?
We didn't record those. We just decided those off camera. But like how we kind of determined them, I guess.
I mean, just like every other game that we did, right? We just looked up all the games that released through the year and fucking narrowed it down to one.
Mm-hmm.
Or is this the one where we did the Final Four?
we'll get to that in a second. But your honorable mentions here that you chose for 2018, I'll see if you want to elaborate on them, was Warhammer 2 Vermintide,
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, God of
Mhm.
War, Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, Forza Horizon 4, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good games right there. I only just recently started playing Vermintide 2. Super fun. Haven't played DLC or anything for it yet. But I might do that. Sea of Thieves. Um, I haven't played any of the new content, but I mean, it gets new content like every quarter. So, I mean, that's pretty sick. And it has the best looking fucking water in any game I've ever seen. Still, also seeing that in a high frame rate is just fucking sex for your eyeballs. Um, Red Dead 2, fucking amazing game. I mean, everything on there is pretty goddamn good. Um, yeah.
Now, so mine was Sea of Thieves, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Um, and obviously, we linked up on God of War. And the interesting thing is, we actually gave that Game of the Year in 2018, but we have decided that Red Dead Redemption 2 has now been the like initial representative of that game. So we've changed. Now obviously we won't take away our Game of the Year. That award is locked in for God of War, but since then we have played Red Dead Redemption 2. So why did you feel like that should have been the representative of 2018?
Hmm.
As
I
you
mean,
yeah.
for Red Dead 2,
Yeah.
I mean, the game is just fucking beautiful. It won awards for its scores, which is like the music. Um, it's visually breathtaking. The kind
You're
of story is like
breathtaking.
pure breathtaking. Um, I mean, the story is really good. It had kind of meh multiplayer, but I mean, you don't really play that game for the multiplayer. It's kind of like Last of Us having multiplayer. Like, you don't really play that game for the multiplayer, but
Mm-hmm.
it's there. Um, I mean, Red Dead 2 is just like a solid fucking game. It was solid on launch, so it's pretty pretty good, pretty good. You just kind of have to go with it. I mean, it pretty masterful game. It's quite honestly, minus the multiplayer, it is a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Tyler, I'm curious to know,
Mhm.
based on some of those games that I've read off, I can read a couple more off if you want, but was there anything that that also stood out to you in 2018, or was there you think that those games were selected?
I think those games that were selected were like done like beautifully. Like two powerhouses, God of War and Red Dead 2. Like oh, you can't top that for that year. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's tough competition to beat. So I think the selection of games you guys like narrowed it down to were perfect actually.
Now you off camera were talking about God of War being still really good too. I'm curious to know like what the to get more for God of War to get that fighting chance as well as not just us like leaving it in the dust because I've played some of it, but like when I finished Red Dead, so how do you feel about God of War being a pretty close second for the representatives there?
Oh, I like we were talking off camera. I obviously feel like it's like the shit for that year, but
Mm-hmm.
I could see it like being I can understand it being outdone, but I personally I feel like it was just like it really stood out that year to me. I feel like the story was done very well. Also like the twist towards the end, if you beat it, I ain't gonna say nothing. But if you beat that part, you like what the fuck is going on? And I think it's like it wraps up what we were used to, like when we were younger. Well,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it's I understand it why it's there.
Okay, yeah. And like I said, we gave it Game of the Year back then, and as well as it being, the leader of that year. And a lot of people did give it Game of the Year. I think IGN did it, and I think the Game Awards did it. Yeah, we just kind of followed suit because I think that was kind of what we agreed upon and of what we all kind of played. And I think it just kind of fit that year on the nose. And then when I finally got the time to play it, Red Dead Redemption 2, that definitely has taken over for I think that was definitely a 2018 solid contender of. But I think a lot of people, it being a longer game, a more of a sandboxy game, it's kind of how you make it sort of thing. And it's a Wild West theme, so it's kind of slow, and I could see that kind of not hitting a lot of people's boxes, checking them off and things. But I mean, for me, I think that was it. And I think, Ashton, I don't want to speak for you either, but that might be some of the reason why you forwarded into being the representative for that year as well.
But having, in terms of nostalgia?
Of just more of checking boxes that you kind of of it was a good story. It was, I mean, do you like the Wild West games and things like that?
I mean, Wild West is actually not one of my favorite settings personally. Usually it's pretty drab, but I really like the Red Dead series. Actually, it goes back for me all the way back to the PlayStation 2 when Red Dead Revolver was a very different fucking game than the Red Dead Redemption series. But I don't know, it just kind of breathe life into an otherwise what I feel is kind of a drab time period. It's just kind of meh to me. I'm not really into the westerns; they're boring. But the way Red Dead is able to kind of encapsulate that and make it way more rich than that you'll see in movies and other things, it's just really well done. It's just a good game's a good game. You can not for example, space games, but I mean, if there was a masterpiece of a space game, everybody's gonna like it, even if they don't like the setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that goes into definitely that expresses a lot too for Red Dead Redemption 2 to bring life into a game genre that isn't looked at as much. So, moving on though, so that kind of summed up 2018 and why we picked Red Dead Redemption 2 as the representative. 2019, jumping into that, Ashton, your representatives was Blair Witch, Gears 5, Jedi Fallen Order, and sorry, I did shorthand. Oh, The Outer Worlds. Sorry. So you had Blair Witch, Gears 5, Jedi Fallen Order, and The Outer Worlds. Anything you want to touch on that, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna say one thing. Outer Worlds the only reason that it did not get Game of the Year at the Game Awards is because of one bug that they had that halted your progression in the story, but it was fixed within 2 months.
Yeah, yeah. And then in mine, it was pretty much the same list, a little difference here and there. But Resident Evil 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Blair Witch, Control, and The Outer Worlds. I didn't even really play Call of Duty Modern Warfare back in 2019. I've only just started playing that this year, so I crossed that one off. Blair Witch I played this year, and it was really, really good. And I played that on stream on twitch.tv/primal_target. And Resident Evil 2 was a great remake, absolutely phenomenal, beautiful looking remake. From the ground up, they built that game, and it just shows that the RE team is no hold bar revived. And you were talking about breathing life into a genre. I think the fine people making the Resident Evil games have definitely breathed life back into that franchise. I can't wait for Village. I played Resident Evil 7 because I beat Resident Evil 2. It's just Resident Evil, I think, it's just gotten to that next step of hey, we saw you guys weren't liking what we were doing, so we've just redone all that and we're fixing all the shit that we fucked up on. And that to me is you're listening to your audience, you're making a franchise amazing again, where it was before, and if not, I think they're actually surpassing where they were at. And just absolutely great game. And then
they're making quite the comeback.
Yeah. But yeah, we narrowed it down, and The Outer Worlds was the decision that we chose because we did give that Game of the Year last year, and I still think to this day, 2019, that was the best game that came out, just based on it. Obsidian did a great job. It's funny. It plays like a video game. The decisions, though it does lack in the sense of like affecting you, I think that it's a great. You can see the potential that Obsidian can do with just the game that they created, and I can't wait for Outer Worlds 2 if that
With
is ever coming.
not a lot of funding, might add. It was a
Mhm.
double A game, not
Yeah.
a triple A production.
Yeah, and
So.
and yeah, what will happen now that Microsoft's cutting checks? Who knows? That game is
No, they're gonna be triple A for sure.
yeah. So yeah, that was why Outer Worlds was decided for 2019. Tyler, was there any games that I do have a couple others that were listed here? Kingdom Hearts 3 also came out that year. Sekiro. And so what were you feeling for 2019?
2019, my big game for 2019, honestly, when I say I had the most fun with was Fallen Order. Personally.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I didn't beat it. I mean, to be honest, I dropped it for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, but Fallen Order was like the shit because you get like that childhood Star Wars feel, but then to add like the level of difficulty that we never seen before coming out of a Star Wars game, being like Star Wars mixed with some Dark Souls, because that's the heavy vibe I got from it, was like really fun. I got my ass beat a lot, you know.
Yeah, that's hard.
I'm pretty sure you were the one stuck on a fucking frog for like the longest time. And, like,
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, it wasn't me though. I think we played on Switch.
I was playing the master though.
I don't know who fucked up you do that. I don't do that. I was out here chilling. I mean, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't that hard. But that was my game for 2019. Now I think I'm about to re-download that shit right now. We about to.
It is free on Game Pass. No plug for that, but hey, you know what? There it is.
That was my game though. That it's nice.
Yeah, I still have. I mean, I have that game. I bought that game. I've not given it the proper chance it deserves. And as a Star Wars fan, I probably should go back and play it. The other thing is I got to go back and play like Force Unleashed and all that shit. Like I have all these Steam Star Wars games, and yeah. But yeah, Jedi Fallen Order is definitely one I got to go back to.
Force Unleashed is a part of that like EA merger with Game Pass.
I don't think so either, but I do have I did buy them. So
I did beat them. They were fun.
Yeah, I hear there's rumor for a third, but more on that later.
No.
More on that later. Anyway, okay, so cool. Outer Worlds was the 2019 representative. That is the quick recap of that. Let's talk about this little off-camera tournament that we ran here. So we essentially, I'm just going to blow right through this. Ashton, you can kind of explain the final four here in just a minute. But so what happened was we took essentially the games and we put them in this little narrowing down and whittling it down tournament. And what happened was Red Dead Redemption went against Minecraft. We just had to give Minecraft that because remember, this is a game that has to define the decade of 2010 to 2019. That's the whole premise of what we did here. And we feel that Minecraft just needed to move on. Diablo 3 versus GTA 5. It was really no competition right there. GTA 5 had to go and move on that one.
Yeah.
Destiny versus The Witcher. I conceded to what Ashton was saying, mainly because he had more experience with Destiny, and he still gave it to The Witcher. So that was there you go. Dark Souls versus Fortnite. It would probably be a cardinal sin if we didn't give Fortnite this shot. So Fortnite did move on past Dark Souls 3, which is what we had it going against. And also it was The Witcher 3, and that was the first Destiny, just so that if anyone's keeping score at home. Red Dead Redemption.
I'm glad you told me that, 'cause that's a fucking sin, my guy.
Red Dead Redemption 2 went against The Outer Worlds, and we just had to give it to Red Dead Redemption 2. As much as we love the Outer Worlds, it just had to move on.
It was just better made. It hurts.
So I'm gonna explain this last part. You can explain the final four, Ashton. But so we had The Witcher face Fortnite. We had to move Fortnite on. Red Dead Redemption 2 got the bye, and then we had one final matchup, which was Minecraft and GTA 5, and we just had too much to talk about on what we should decide, that we just let that one slide, and we have moved on to 4 final games, and we are going to tell you what we feel personally of this. But Ashton, do you remember the 4 games?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
cool. Go ahead.
the 4 games that we're having a tough time deciding on and agreeing on, and we haven't told each other which one is our personal favorite. We're actually going to be going with our personal favorites here. We're going to kind of reveal it. So this is just personal opinion. This is not even agreed upon. We're just going to tell each other the first time which of these 4 games that we actually like the most, that we define for ourselves, is going to be it. So these final 4 games.
Do you want to hold on? Sorry to interrupt, but do you want to explain why we've kept them into the final 4 as kind of like a lead up?
Yeah, because
Okay,
we
cool.
were unable to.
I mean, not that
decide
of like each game, like the specifics of it. Why, like, kind of like.
Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do
Okay,
that.
cool.
But the 4 games,
Mhm.
it's gonna be Fortnite, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe, and then what was it? Did I say Minecraft already?
I don't think you did. No.
So Minecraft.
Mhm.
So Fortnite, Minecraft, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are the 4. Those are the final 4. Those are the ones that we picked for the 4 most defining games to us, anyway, of this decade. Now we haven't kind of gone into like discussing with each other what ones that we personally picked. So we'll do that here in a minute. But I guess we should explain why each one is there. I mean, Fortnite. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It has been a hit and continue to be a hit. This fucking weird phenomenon for a game that didn't even start out as a BR that turned into a BR. And it just did insanely good. Like,
wait. When did they? I never heard Fortnite was always a BR.
no,
No, it was supposed to be a almost a Minecraft clone sort of thing, but that was what they said before. It was like a Minecraft shooter
PvE
is what
thing,
they
yeah.
and then they were like, yeah, it's a PvE, you face zombies and like you build, and that was like world end or whatever they call it.
Save the world.
Save the world, that's what it is. And that was the official Fortnite game. And then they
that was
added
out for like months.
Yeah, and then they added the BR thing, the battle royale part, and then that's what took over, and now no one cares about the actual real Fortnite, and they've made so much money on a free.
You must are talking about what the idea to keep it as, because when that game, like when that shit hit like consoles, like I was playing battle royale.
Oh yeah, no, that was already it had already defined that the battle royale part was an add-on on that, but originally, yeah, it was just Fortnite Save the World or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of fell ass backwards into that.
Yes.
Thing. That was not what they intended to happen.
Which is crazy. It's just
yeah. Imagine just being that lucky.
That is fucking the 2017 crazy. Representative too. Just
yeah.
One wants to know.
So I mean, there's that, and then we can talk about Minecraft. You know, it's been here forever. It seems like
2011.
2011, huh? And you know, it gets. I wouldn't say regular updates on console, but you know, it's every. I feel like every year it gets an update.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. Like in terms of content and like making changes to the world. I mean, they'll have like bug fixes and stuff they'll throw in.
Definitely seems like it happens a lot more frequently now that Microsoft owns them and the whole shebang on that. So
yeah, so I mean, you know, it's stayed relatively, you know, popular. You know, everybody knows what it is. You know, even people who don't play games know what Minecraft is, right? People still play it. I mean, even new people play it. Like kids are still playing that. Like new kids getting into gaming or playing Minecraft, and older people as well. You know, for nostalgia or like doing creative stuff. You know, people make like crazy stuff on there. They spend hours upon hours and hours doing like replicas of other shit.
Plus, it's also like crossed over into other games like Smash and all these other types of stuff that it's now he's defined, like Steve has defined itself into being like a culture icon of that game, which is crazy.
So I mean, it's pretty popular. I mean, I think PewDiePie was doing some streams of it this year. Jacksepticeye was also doing some streams with it. I mean, there's still streamers and content creators alike are still supporting it as well. So it's still very alive to this day. And they're actually working on a major graphics update, the super duper graphics update or whatever it's called. It's going to have ray tracing and 4K and shit for consoles. So that's pretty sick. So that's the reason why it's in there. It has longevity and replayability. Hasn't died. Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, kind of spoke about this a little bit earlier. I mean, it's pretty much a masterpiece minus the multiplayer. I mean, there's not really much to say about it. I mean, it's just overall an amazing game. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's really all you can say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a really amazing game. And then GTA 5 came out in what, 2013?
Yes.
That game just has evolved and evolved and evolved, and it has free content updates, it seems like, all the time. They have not stopped supporting that game. They just had another update where they added a new island.
Yeah,
for you to
I
go
don't.
visit.
I don't think I remember any like update quite like the one that just recently happened for
Yeah.
us. You know, who knows what happens in a month.
I mean,
or
they
so,
had
but-
that casino update. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
they
yeah, I
had
guess that was map defining.
earliest
too, okay.
update they had was the heist update, and then they had casinos. They had like biker club. They have nightclub. They have all kinds of stuff going on. It seems like they're always putting something more into that game every couple of months.
Mhm.
Which is crazy to me. It's
Okay.
just awesome. But like,
Yeah.
there's so much to do in that game. You literally would have to spend so much time in that game to even like get all of it done. Like, it's insane. And the
So-
story is really good too.
So, Tyler, how do you feel about the final four here? You got your overall before we get to like your official answer of what you would choose for this. We got Minecraft,
No, what do
GTA
you mean?
5
I gotta choose out of the four.
out of the
Or I
four.
just-
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Read them off again.
So we got Minecraft representing 2011. We have GTA
Okay.
5 representing 2013. We have
Okay.
Fortnite representing 2017, and we have Red Dead Redemption 2 representing 2018.
I'm tired of seeing Minecraft. I enjoy that game a lot, but it's like, shit, it gotta die at some point. Like I mean, I'm thinking about going and playing it recently because I know it's getting an update next summer. It's like caves and some shit.
Mhm.
They have stalagmites or stalactites, whatever the fuck you want to call 'em.
Maybe both.
Yeah. But it's not a bad pick. Like I said, I just don't personally. I don't play Fortnite. I don't care for it. I mean,
Mhm.
we went back to play it, over there on Primal Target Twitch. Follow it. We chill over there. It's alright. Like it got its moments.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think like that dude who we had to kill him by shooting out his walkway. He was like 30 feet in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
Body right into the lake. That I don't know what to say. Because these games like GTA and like Minecraft, like you want to see them like move on. I mean, like you want something else to take the spot, but then like as Asher was saying, they just get content updates after content updates, and they're not really. They hitting. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like they doing what they need to do. Like GTA just released the last update like last week. Last major content update was last week. That's probably not the last for the game because Rockstar keeps saying we're not going to support this game anymore. But they probably realized online wise, Red Dead 2 was a failure.
Yeah, and
And that-
then they always
Yeah.
keep saying I can't remember what Rockstar dev said it, but I think they've been quoted saying like the only way GTA 5 is gonna be like ever given like we have to kill it. We have to kill it. Like the Rockstar
that-
crew has to kill it in order for people to move on.
I feel like they've been trying to do that, like with like if you play online, like I did, with, like the OP shit they put in there that's heavily catered towards pay to win style, like some of these weapons, some of these vehicles. I hearing that makes me think they've been trying to do that for a long time, but they don't because you put these things in the game and then people want to play it more so you can get those things and be assholes like everybody else.
I mean, it is the top grossing game of all time, still, I think. So
Yeah, because it's like how can you beat that? It's and when people like just quickly like what we were talking about, like I think it was Nathan was talking about like how Red Dead Online's like multiplayer like, it was gonna be good. I was like, no, it's not. And he was like, why? Because Red Dead you're confined to a time period. GTA you're not. Why the fuck do you think we have hover bikes in GTA? Because this is modern times. You can do whatever you want, but you can't like put a car in a western. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work. So
I
feel like
mean, they could have Technically,
Yeah,
they
they
did a
can't.
Back to the
They,
Future
they can have
crossover.
like a little buggy. It has to be like a little buggy or something.
Oh, they could do a buggy, but I was thinking more like a DeLorean.
Like real. Oh my god.
Get the licensing. They got the
I'm a-
money.
That
They
would
got
be
the
such
money
a
to
Back
do
to
it.
the Future. That would be
I'm
Back
a
to the Future.
little surprised they don't have a Back to the Future reference in that game.
Who
It was a
knows?
missed opportunity.
Who
for
knows?
Sure.
Honestly, there's Easter eggs
No,
in
it
that
would-
game
it
that have
would've
not been
got-
found yet. So
It would have gotten found. Nah.
I mean,
But
they're still
they-
finding Easter eggs in GTA 5. So
But they keep on adding them. I feel like you about to maybe download Red Dead and just go look. But I feel like we're all tapped out on Red Dead. But no, I think like I said, you would like to see GTA and Minecraft moved on, but the updates are putting out very solid, so you can't really argue with that. Game getting content, who doesn't love that, you know? And if it's good, it's good. You can't be mad at it. Fortnite, of course, new kid on the block, doing very well for itself. Even though like people say, like personally, like we said, I don't like it. You can't deny what it's been doing for a
Yeah.
while, right? You can't shame and be like, it's ass, but hey, it could be ass to you. But it's these collabs with it just like the fucking like Master Chief just dropped. I just seen on my
Kratos.
phone. Yeah, Kratos just dropped. I seen on my phone they trying to put Green Arrow in the game, like the Green Arrow from like
from the
like-
Arrowverse.
yeah,
I mean,
like
they got Master Chief in there now too. So
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, and then also the newest update as of right now when we're recording this is Captain Marvel and Black Panther have just been in. By the way, that intro for Black Panther would make you cry. That's a heart-wrenching one right there.
I think I might look at it right now.
Yeah.
But I'm keep on talking,
Mhm.
but I'm be looking it up. But
yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
you can't downplay what they've done, and they've kind of set the precedent. I mean, I'm pretty sure Fortnite is the reason why Destiny 2 had a live event, which the Destiny 2 live event was absolutely terrible.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of crazy about how that game is like they have premieres, they have trailer drops, they have concerts, they have all this licensing from Disney, they have all this licensing from DC. It's like it's so weird that you could play a game with the Joker and Wolverine. Like what the fuck other game would you ever do that in? It's insane. It's insane of what Fortnite has become. And yeah, I mean, obviously us three don't really play it, and I was waiting. The reason why I was streaming it on Twitch for a little bit was because I was waiting for Warzone to get updated, but and to fill that kind of gap. But the thing is like it is. I think what you both have said and what we've said in the past is it's just respecting the game of like what it has become. It's this last generation's Pokemon, honestly, to me, and I never thought I would admit to it, but I think it really has become a cultural phenomenon. Now, whether or not it lasts for 5 to 10 years, like how Minecraft or Pokemon or all these other games have, I'd be curious to know. But I think they've got the longevity for it. I think they should treat their devs a little bit better, but that's neither here nor there at this point. But yeah, so I think it's come down to. My opinions of it are I've kind of said over the time is like Minecraft is definitely just this. It's lasted. I think it's Legos for the digital generation, and it's clearly proven itself. Based on like, when I try to go back to Minecraft, it's almost like it's a new game every single time because I usually am off like for 2 to 3 years, and I'm like, yeah, I'll pop back in, and then I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm just building a castle out of blocks again. And that's all I know how to do. But everyone's like, why don't you enchant your sword? I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Then there's GTA 5, which is just a phenomenal campaign, a phenomenal online. And yeah, the fact that they added a DeLorean in it obviously gives, tugs at the heartstrings a little bit for me. But it's such a good game. And I think that there's like, it's a good video game. Like, to me, that is what it is. It is do whatever you want. Here's a controller. Fuck off for like an hour. I guarantee you'll have a different experience than person B, C, and D. Like you could have so many different ways of doing things of what you want to do. Like one person may like the campaign, one person may like the racing in GTA, which is become super popular in the GTA community, which is why some people are now defining a tag on Twitch as GTA is a racing game now, which is insane because there's just so many cars and vehicles available. And obviously Fortnite I've kind of touched on with what I've already said, and then Red Dead Redemption 2 just has that such a cinematic video game. That's like, what would it be like if we could take a movie and adapt it to a video game and do it right? And Rockstar, as much as we have narrowed it down to putting 2 games from that company in this Final Four and trying to decide which one is so definable. Red Dead Redemption 2 is cinematically so good. And I think if a person that loves movies is to play a video game, this is the game I would give them because it's just so freaking good. And yeah, I think it's one of the best games that I've played ever in my life. And I've said that when I completed the game. I said that, and I'll say that till the end. So that's my little thing. So Ashton, I don't know if you want to like reel it back in and narrow it down to what you chose for your final. I wrote mine down, so I'm not cheating. I wrote mine down already. But go ahead. What
Yeah.
kick us off here?
For me, I'm gonna have to go with GTA 5, and the reason I say that is it was here at the beginning of the decade, 3 years in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I played that game. I don't even know how many days in terms of hours I played that game, but every time I would go and take a break from it, there would always be an update that brings me back in. Actually, I ended up buying that game twice because I had to buy it on the 360 and then I had to buy it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, it was just right at that cutoff of like the next gen, so you got to get a little dip there.
That is one of the very few games I bought twice and actually didn't even care that I had to spend extra money on getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just utter chaos. You can just fuck around and do whatever you want. It's like an amazing sandbox, and it just evolved and got better and better over time. For me, out of these 4 games, I definitely enjoyed playing that one the longest. The most time played in that game, and I feel like to me it represents more of the decade as a whole than the other games do.
What about you, Tyler? What are you feeling?
I had to get to Red Dead.
Okay.
Personally, my first choice is Red Dead for sure. I didn't get to finish it, but story really good. It is cinematic. I don't know if you said that while we were talking or off stream.
I did a little bit, but yeah, you're good.
Yeah, just very cinematic. The world is nice. Characters are addicting. It's like that perfect, like, you got characters you like, you got characters you hate, and that's what like story just really needs to. You're not meant to like everybody, right? Somebody got to get folded. Yeah, definitely Red Dead out of those 4.
Okay. So I just want to say all these games are fantastic, and then I do agree on a lot of things that Tyler said, but I also have to give it to GTA 5 as game of the decade. And
I'm not surprised. You said we were gonna be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the my thing about, because I talked so much hype about Minecraft, and I was like, but now thinking about it, and like when before off camera and stuff, and I think Ashton kind of said it, and I don't want to like reiterate the same things that he said, but it's definitely that I enjoyed it the most out of maybe not out of all these games, but definitely of that year. And then I have come back here and there to play it, and when you leave, you don't have to come back and feel like I'm so far behind. You're like, you can just pop back in and play for a little bit, because it's still the same game. And like I was saying in my little like brief statements of GTA 5, I think it's a 10 out of 10 game. It is a video game to me. Like, it's fun. There's video game aspects. It's ridiculous in some parts. It can be serious in some parts. The story is amazing. The online's amazing. And I just think, so unanimously, GTA 5 did get Primal Target's game of the decade. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that Tyler did give Red Dead Redemption 2. So that means Rockstar is our company of the decade, our publisher of the decade.
Yeah.
Because both of their games did get, even though that wasn't really a part of it, but still, Rockstar, yeah. Go ahead, Tyler.
No, you're hype man.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I just think that it's so crazy how good those games that Rockstar puts out. And like, I fell in love with them with LA Noire, and then And then I played GTA 5 right after that, and just was like, there it is. This is what I wanted. And then Red Dead Redemption 2. It just, oh God, there's so much. There's cinematic shots that I actually like. That was when I actually took pictures in the game. Like, you know how when you can do the share button now? I literally did that in some parts because I was like, this is so fucking cool. Like, this shot is so cool. So yeah, Primal Target's game of the decade is Grand Theft Auto 5. There you go. All right. Any final words before we move on?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope.
We're moving on to our second topic. Primal Target
Hot
Awards.
topic.
Hot topic, no. Dead.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Don't care to have it. So here we are with the PT Awards. This is the award ceremony that we started a couple years ago now, and it started off with just like 2 awards, Game of the Year and the PT Hall of Fame, and now has gone into, we have a couple awards that we hand out, and Tyler, you'll be joining us on this as well in a couple of these categories here. So just to kick things off and to get it out of the way, the Primal Target Plays Award, which is the PT Plays Award, our Let's Play series. What video did the best out of all of the other videos this year, even though we didn't really put out a lot on YouTube, so sorry about that. But it was Old School versus Now Halo CE. Ashton, you want to kind of explain the video? A little bit,
Yeah. So me and Ryan, we we hopped on Master Chief Collection and started playing Halo CE. Just run through the campaign. We did it on Legendary. It was just a video where we just collected a bunch of funny moments, and there were some funny moments. It did, obviously, because it did pretty well. It was just a lot of fun. It's a fun video to make and also to watch. Check it out.
PT Video of the Year. A video out of everything from podcasts to Let's Plays to anything we put out last year in 2020. What video did the best? Ashton, I'm sure you remember what video did the best.
So it was actually one of our podcasts. It was a PT 3600 podcast where we had Ren Fox and Pluviio here as guests. And it was the Dirty episode where we talked about porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. We actually, not just like porn stars that we like or anything like that, but, fun porn facts as well. So if you're in for a fun listen with the family on Christmas, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, that one is fun family. Goddamn. Yeah, that was definitely one that I don't know how I feel about that one being the one that it's gonna be archived forever. But hey, it's got me in hot water in some situations. But hey, here we are. it's all about the content, and it was funny. So
I don't know. I felt like the water is just fine.
It felt a little gooey to me. Anyway, we're moving on to.
It actually very separate, not like be like oil on water.
Okay.
Curdled water.
Moving on to the next award, the Happy Accident Award. Tyler, let's kick it off with you. You chose Bless Unleashed.
Yeah.
Why'd you choose to give that the Happy Accident Award, the award that's given to a game that you didn't think was gonna be, or it just kind of surprised you, and you're like, you know what, this was a good game.
I don't play a whole lot of MMOs. I've tried. For example, I've tried Terra. Couldn't stick with that at all. But Bless was, I don't know. Like that was the only one I could definitely play by myself. There's some MMOs I can only play with like people. Like if I don't have people around, I'm not gonna play it. But Blessed, like back on Mixer, like I had like a whole fucking 6-hour stream of me just playing that game, and there was nobody around. I was like, this is lit. I'm enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I was like some fucking Lion-O looking dude who could dunk on people with a battle axe. That's exactly what I was doing the entire time. That was great. But yeah, that one took me by surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashton, you actually chose the same game. Why is that?
I did. I didn't think it was going to be that good, especially since they were paying small-time streamers Like,
Yeah, I guess we should state that
Right.
it was a sponsored thing, but we're not sponsored by them anymore. I just want to clarify.
and we actually didn't even get our payout, so we got kind of robbed.
Well,
So
there you go.
fuck them. But
Well,
the
okay.
game was actually good. The game was actually good. I didn't expect it to be good at all. I was like, oh fuck it, I'll try it out, and it's actually pretty good. Like, I'm not much of an MMO guy myself, but I mean, it's pretty fun. I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, the game I chose was Warzone. Hey, if Twitch subcategorizes it now as a game, I'm damn well gonna select it. And since it's now crossing into 2 games now, so there you go. But yeah, like I never thought I would enjoy a battle royale quite like Warzone, or anything really. I tried PUBG in the past, not really feeling it. Kind of feels clunky. Fortnite has the building thing. I'm not really into that. And there's been a couple others kind of scattered throughout of me just testing out and whatnot. But Call of Duty Warzone, to me, it's just fun. Like, even though I can get like 3 or 4 kills in a game, and it doesn't really matter. Like, even when I die, or like there's that rush of like, it's so weird. It's the only game that makes me do this, of where like you get to the final like 5 or whatever, and if you win or lose or whatever, as soon as that match is over, I get these like Warzone shakes where like my hand starts to shiver because I was so fucking stressed out. But it's like the only game that it like thrills me. It's like a thrill ride of like, damn, only place like, sometimes you'll get like fucking copped out in like top 70, and you're like, all right, well, whatever. Then you'll go like top 50, and then you'll go top 25, and you're like, oh, okay, we're doing it. And then maybe top 10, and maybe final 2, but it's like you never know. And there's 150 other people that are trying to do the same thing as you, so, or 149 other people that are trying to do the same thing as you. So I don't know. I was very shocked and very happily surprised at how much I really like that game, and I'm gonna keep playing it until I eventually, hopefully, become good at it. But I think it's also helped me in my Call of Duty gameplays as well. Of just like, even though I get more angry in multiplayer, because it's like you could get spawn killed and whatnot. But that's in all multiplayer games. But but yeah, I think that one's just where that anger thrives in. But I think it's helped me out going like, I used to be dog shit at Call of Duty, where I'd be like 0.4 KD and like just nothing, not very good. But now I'm like at least 1. Sometimes I'll go 3, and things like that. But yeah, I think I'm getting better at Call of Duty because of Warzone. So I'd say Warzone is my happy accident award.
Nice.
Brown Star Award. Let's start with Ashton.
This one was tough.
Ashton, explain what the Brown Star Award is.
The Brown Star Award is the Shitty Game Award. Usually, so with the Brown Star Award, it's not going to be opinion based. It's going to be based off of the industry, how the state of the game is, or was at launch. So it's the one that we do every year. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like a shitty game launch. It can be run by bugs. I'm sure a lot of you know where this is going. For me, I actually had to give it to Cyberpunk, which leaves me with a dirty taste in my mouth because I actually played on Xbox Series X and don't have any issues.
Yeah.
But everybody on like other consoles do. So like Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they have a lot.
Especially the older model ones of those too.
Yeah. So like the day one consoles, it just doesn't work. The only perfect way to play it right now is basically PC. So I mean, there's some bugginess on Series X, but nothing game breaking or anything that would make you not want to play it. Right? Nothing. Some negligible stuff. Like it's not even a big deal. So I love Cyberpunk 2077. Fantastic game. It is getting, unfortunately, the company's kind of on fire. They shouldn't be. I mean, they're doing everything that they can to make everything right, which is, you can't say that for really any other studio. Period. Like no other studio has been this good about like damage control and making things right. So, but the game did release and it's unplayable to the point to where it's not on the PlayStation Store anymore until they fix it. So I mean that's pretty indicative of like a Brown Star Award. Like your game was literally removed from a platform because it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that is kind of the bummer thing about it. And I do agree with you of like the game is there's good in it. And I think I was listening to IGN's Game Scoop. I can't remember who said it, but someone said it's like a 3/4 of a amazing game, but there's
Yeah.
just 1/4 that just
it just
sticks
needed to
out
cut a
so
little
hard.
longer.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they just had to come out with the game is what I think they felt like doing. And then and yeah, I think it just kind of went to this really, you know, bad timing of like they really tried, but they just couldn't do it.
They needed another quarter.
Yeah, and you know what? There is an update that did come out. That's supposed to come out on the 24th, I believe, of December. And then who knows if there's one that's coming in January by the time this
There
releases.
is. So they actually have a roadmap out. There will be another big update in January and another big update in February, and then it should work.
Okay. Yeah, I heard the 24th update is supposed to be a huge like fixer, and who knows what the other ones would probably be. But yeah, I mean, you know, as this is kind of a bummer situation of like, damn, you know, I understand why Ashton that you chose to give Cyberpunk what it is, and it is, you know, unfortunately rightfully delivered. But yeah, I think going into the Brown Star Award for me is Marvel Avengers. I did not play this game because I avoided it. So I know it's kind of like, oh, well, how can you give the award? I don't want to spend money on a game that is gonna, you know, try and have me pay to play. And if I wanted to do that, I'd go to an arcade, and I'm not spending $60 on a goddamn game to do that. It's I also think that it was weird how like cosmetically like you don't change based on like weapons you unlock. So I'm like, well then what's the point? Like the unlocking a weapon or a attachment or things like that if it's not going to change what I look like. Like I understand that you want to do skins and things like that, but like let me decide as the player. It's my choice to play the video game, and I'd like to select it. If you're gonna give me the options, like let me be like Destiny, where like if I select a helmet for Iron Man and it's a weird combination, let me look like I'm ugly. If I want to combine things together, let me decide that. But yeah, it was like high hopes and literally swept under the radar, swept under the rug. I think Square Enix is trying to fix it, or you know, was it Crystal Dynamics was the ones that were making that, which was what was that?
It's Square Enix.
It's Square Enix, but like who's the one that made that? Is that Crystal Dynamics?
Could be.
Because I'm thinking it was the people that made Tomb Raider and then were pulled off of Tomb Raider to go make that game. And I don't know really. What was that?
It's Crystal down there.
It is Crystal? Okay. And that's why the other team that makes Tomb Raider, I can't remember off the top of my head, they had to take charge of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is just weird because it's like Square is so inconsistent on how good games are. Like you'll get like Shadow of the Tomb Raider makes 3 games, solid games, and then you get one of the biggest properties coming off of one of the biggest movies that was released last year, and all of a sudden it's just what the fuck is this? And then you put people in the game that like no one really cares about, and like it just like, and then they updated it with Hawkeye's daughter. I'm like, oh, that's
Nah, I heard that chick's not his daughter.
oh, it's
Chick's
not.
She's in no relation to Hawkeye. She's just some chick who supposedly gets like trained by Hawkeye.
Okay, well,
but
see,
they
there
have
you go. It's like that's just even. It's more of the case of like.
She's in the comics.
Yeah,
though,
yeah, I
but
know. And then like Ms. Marvel was also selected to be like the poster child of that game, and I'm like, look, as much as I appreciate you trying to put forward a character that doesn't really get much of a push, like, because that's the idea of Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy were a bunch of nobodies that no one read the comics of, unless you were like a diehard fan. And then all of a sudden they make the movies and they've become like such cultural icons because they knew who to be in those movies. This is like you had an all-star cast to play all of these top-tier Marvel characters, but we've seen them. And so we've already associated that Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, but he's not in this game, so they made him look different. So there's kind of like the visuals is kind of messing up. I don't know. I think there was just it just had a dirty taste in a lot of people's mouths, even though the game, I guess, theoretically worked more than Cyberpunk did. It to me, it just seemed like a company that was. I think there was a game there originally, and then the publisher decided to step in and go, yeah, but what if we did microtransactions? And so, and obviously, if you want to take the EA route, I don't know what game you're looking at that's pulling in good numbers, but it definitely doesn't. It's not things that people like. So anyway, I gave Marvel's Avengers the Brown Star Award this year. Tyler, you also gave the Brown Star Award to Marvel's Avengers. What's going on?
I just felt like for what it could have been, using these properties that we use, like the Avengers. I'm not really so bothered on the look, because like you probably ain't got that much money, especially not like now, So it's gonna be a lot of money to try to get these actors in there to use their likeness, because probably like mocap involved. We're in different times at the moment, so it just didn't deliver. It wasn't there. You had all this behind you. You like Avengers. It's not just like the characters we see in the movies that are part of Avengers. It gets so much deeper than that. There's so much people you can add to make it an enjoyable experience. And to kind of combat like what Ashley was saying about like Cyberpunk is just about like the added feature of not added feature, but the added like aspect of like them removing it off the PlayStation Store. I don't consider that to be like a product of like developer choice, a product of like it was forced upon them by consumers. So imagine if no one ever said anything about all the bugs in Cyberpunk, that game would still be where it is today. So I feel like that game is not really bad. It's just consumers that are whining that they didn't really get what they thought they were gonna get.
You're saying, just to kind of clarify, you're saying that CD Projekt Red would have fixed the game even without people complaining about it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If people would never complain to like this degree, like of course they have to play it, right? Of course they're gonna see it and things are gonna make it like to their view, because Twitter is everywhere. Everyone's on Twitter nowadays. It's gonna get out there. But the wanting for this game has been like the biggest outcry, and I feel like it's because people thought they were gonna get more, and they didn't get more, so they whined about it. But from what I'm hearing, people who have played the game, you've played it, Ashley has played it. You guys say it's really good. So why are we letting game bugs riddle your experience?
Well,
if you can sit here and tell me game bugs don't riddle your experience, then what's the problem?
Right. For next gen users though, most people aren't on next gen yet.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of the fallout of it is, because the game that we got because obviously the game was advertised as an Xbox One and a PS4 game, and it still is. It's still specifically for those consoles. And so people going into it, and obviously both consoles being super difficult to get as of current of December 23rd. That's all they have. And so I think that why people keep talking about it and is that topic of I'm stuck with this. So if this is what you told me to play it on, why is it play like this? And I agree with Ashton, and I also agree with you, Tyler. It's just definitely that, and I think that the reason why we keep talking about it is because it's a good game, and we just can't let it die, because I think the game is a solid game, but it's just not there all the way, and that's really the issue.
Well, it's also because like they're gonna take 3 months after release to make a minimum viable product on all platforms.
I think that was the problem. It was trying to get it on all platforms. That was to me the problem. Because I mean, obviously they're a PC company. They're really good at making. They started on PC with The Witcher, and they've continued to make the games on PC super good. Then they started with putting the stuff over on Xbox 360, and then those ports were really good. And I think it's that hype. The hype is super difficult to try and keep up, especially when we learned about this game back in like 2012. So like we've been literally when we were playing Diablo 3, we were just learning about
We were still in
Cyberpunk.
high school.
Yeah, exactly. We were still in high school. And so it's like and people that weren't 18 to play that game, they waited. Now those people are 18. That's so long ago. And like it's almost a decade to play this game. And you know, I think that CD Projekt Red had to make that decision to put that game out. Was it the good decision? Was it the right call? Some people say yes, some people say no. So but yeah,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just the way you look at it. Like people say yes, people say no. There's no winning.
Yeah.
Like no answer is right
Yes.
because no matter what they chose to do, there were going to be complaints. You
Yes.
delay it again, complaints. You put
Oh,
it out,
100%.
Yes.
and you get what
Totally
you get
agree.
right now. It's going to be complaints. There was no pleasing anybody. People just have to realize that this is kind of what you wanted. It was delayed for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can only like say so much like with my foot like just in the door of like game design, but I'm like my teacher has run us through drills about like how this shit goes, and it's not fun for anybody. Crunch is a bitch. We learned that too. Like some people don't even really get paid for crunching,
Mm-hmm.
and being like you're like developer and publisher, you don't have no big company backing you. It's just all you. So like the weight is on their shoulders, meaning like they know what they did. And I feel like people have to learn to be patient, like Ashton said, they're like one of the companies out here who is actually trying to fix something.
Mm-hmm.
And why I give it to Avengers, because like, did Avengers try to fix anything? No, they just released a DLC.
Yeah,
Your
they just
game's
keep
still-
doing it. They're still doing it. Yeah.
You're not trying to change anything to make it more enjoyable. Content is not going to make your game. In certain situations, yes, more content does make your game enjoyable, but it's not, because once people play through that in a week, what does it go through?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, that game does work though.
Yeah, I can give you that, but there's no fun game there. And honestly, of what I've seen, like it doesn't
It's a
seem.
fun game in Cyberpunk. Bugs aside, that's the point I'm trying to bring out. You separate that from the actual experience and think of the times that the game bugged out on you way more on you than the times that the game worked and you actually enjoyed the story. And I guarantee you, everybody's answer is definitely no.
Yeah, for me personally, I would have to say, yeah, the bugs are. I would say the fun times outweigh the bugs for me personally on Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be on last gen consoles too. People just don't know how to stop whining.
Mm-hmm.
I can get that game right now, have it shit be buggy as hell with my Xbox. I don't even want to play half the games I have on it, and still have a great time. Bugs aside, it's not really the hardware you're on, the type of person you want to be, and do you want to sit here and whine all day?
Yeah. Yeah, and
You
then
got
obviously
into
I mean, it is an unacceptable state, though.
It is sure. There,
consoles.
I mean, and to wrap things up here, it kind of does go with the whole fact that it is a, like I was saying earlier, it is advertised as to being on those consoles, and so like the fact that, but I think CD Projekt Red being so adventurous into making things extremely good looking and the gameplay and like building worlds and things like that, it's so big of a game that like I've been in Night City the whole game for 8 hours. I have not even made it to the wildlands or whatever the hell they call that thing, like the desert. I've not been out there yet. That's a whole section of the game I've not been out to. There's missions upon submissions upon meeting people, romance options, things like that. It's so fucking ambitious of a game that it just, to me, honestly, they should have just said, fuck it, we're not coming out on the past gen console, even though we said we were going to come out on past gen. We just got to make it for the next gen. Even and I think it sucks, and that was that. And I know that they want to appease to everybody because CD Projekt Red is CD Projekt Red. They love appeasing, like giving back to the community and the fans that they do have, especially when you see like The Witcher and all of the free content that they gave to that game. The little love note that they sent in every single packaging of The Witcher Complete Edition saying that we appreciate you, we do all this stuff. It's literally a note. It's literally a note that they typed up and signed CD Projekt Red. And you open it up, all it is just a little note that says, "Thank you for buying our game. We hope you enjoy it." And it's like, there's no company that does that as much as like this company in Poland, CD Projekt Red, and I can't wait to see what the game looks like after it's done. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not where it's at. But I still give it to Marvel's Avengers just because Square, it doesn't seem like they want to change, and I think that that's where it's like it comes down to that company of why they didn't want to do that. I don't know. And you have a big property, you have Disney writing on this, and as far as I'm aware, and seeing, when I see games from Insomniac making Spider-Man and Miles Morales, like why the hell did we get this game and not those games? Those games have one main character. Well, I guess okay, give or take, but you have a Spider-Man like to worry, to play as in there.
Yeah.
Over here, you have supposedly a very eclectic crew of Avengers, and it's not fun. So it's like I don't know how that team was able to make a better game than you guys are, and they're an open world sandboxy type of game. So it's like I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, there's the Brown Star Award. Any final things about that before we move on? I just want to.
Nope.
Okay. Hall of Fame Award. This is the game that will be forever immortalized into our website over in the PT Hall of Fame. Last year, I inducted Pokemon Yellow version, and Ashton, you inducted
Super Mario Galaxy?
Yes, you did. And so this year we have 3 inductees because our good old pal Tyler is here. So let's get on. Ashton, what game are you inducting into the Hall of Fame? The class of 2020.
Halo 3, dude.
And why is that?
Because it kind of like set the precedent for all the future Halo games in the franchise, and it actually was doing something that other games did not. It had a pretty good story, not quite as good as Halo 2's story, but it had the best multiplayer in its time, arguably, and it also had that Forge mode that no other game had.
Mm-hmm.
It made custom games a mainline thing in future games on other franchises. It was a trendsetter, trailblazer, if you will. That game had so much to it, especially for its time. It was just top tier game. And people still go back and play it regularly on Master Chief Collection. That game came out like forever ago, like 2007.
Yeah, I think it came out, around there.
So 13 years running, people are still playing that. Like, amazing game. Amazing game.
Tyler, you are inducting what game?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
There it is. And why is that?
That shit, nostalgia everywhere. I remember going to my dad's house and staying up to 2 a.m. My dad just let me do that because he didn't care what I did as long as I wasn't waking him up. Just fucking sitting there going to Hercules Coliseum, beating the shit out of people, hanging out with her, just swapping out characters, hanging out with Tarzan, Simba. That was my game. The story just pulled me in. If I could cry, I would cry. But we don't do that around here. But no, that was my shit, and it will forever hold like a special place to me. I remember like going to my dad's house again, and like I think I was like 18. I was like my ex-girlfriend at the time. And I sent her a picture. She's like, "I'm not gonna hear from you like the whole weekend." I'm like, "Nah, you definitely not. I'm playing this shit. You're done." Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, no, it's so odd that those games exist. Every time I see them, I'm like, Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters, and it's just so interesting that game is so popular, and I'm happy as a Disney fan to see that Disney was, allowing their content, because Mickey does not come free. I'll let you know. So it's like the fact that he's able to
have like 5 games.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the fact that he's in those games is crazy. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a good induction. And obviously I have to give mine, but my thing is I have to go back to what we talked about for our game of the decade, and I honestly think it is rightfully deserving of being inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. especially since we classified it as the game of the decade, is Grand Theft Auto 5. I think that game is a all-around top-notch game. Like I've said in the last part to this episode, so I won't go too far into it. But to kind of recap, it's just I think that game is so good all around. One of the best video game type of games. There's not this sense of like, oh, I have to be this certain way to play the game, or I can do whatever. It's just enjoy it. Just enjoy of how chaotic and how fun the game actually is. So GTA 5 is my induction into the class of 2020 Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Any last minute things to say about the Hall of Fame?
Nah.
Okay.
Nope.
Cool. Let's talk. Oh, sorry.
No, yes, we good. Let's
Okay,
go.
all right. Before we wrap this part up, let's talk about Game of the Year. Game of the Year of 2020. We narrowed it down to 3 finalists here that we all agree that should be in contention for 2020. That is The Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Call of Duty Cold War. 2 of these games PlayStation exclusives, so that's interesting. What are you guys feeling? About these? Our final 3.
I mean, I've only played Cold War.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that it's Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go with either Last of Us Part 2 or Miles Morales, but I haven't watched nor have I played either of those games.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, tell me why you like Call of Duty that you were able but you wanted to put this through to the final.
I like the story a lot. I haven't fully beaten it yet. I just like the setting.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of go back and forth between time in terms of like remembering old stuff. And it's also like pretty interactive. You get to like sort of choose like make decisions in the game, not really to a full extent, but like you can choose to throw a guy off of a roof or like capture him, which is pretty cool. And it's in the 80s, so I mean that's also pretty cool. There's a lot of stealth. I don't know, and the game just looks really good. Like all the cutscenes, super like crazy. Like they just look amazing. Like the character models look realistic as fuck, except for Reagan. He looks like a clown. Fucking rosy red cheeks. They're like over the top. Like the man's actually wearing blush. It's crazy.
Like they dressed a corpse up.
Yeah, pretty much. It's really weird. It's bizarre. They need to like tone that down a little bit. But I don't know, the game's good and multiplayer is pretty solid. But I like Last of Us. I like the first one. The second one, I'm excited to play it once the PS5 version comes out. Miles Morales, I'm excited to play as well. But I think I'm gonna table it. I'm gonna listen to what you guys have to say, and then I'll choose after you guys.
Okay. Yeah, for me, with these final 3, I definitely like with you touched upon it just for a second there with the decision-based thing. Obviously there is, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you can in the right direction for what the Call of Duty crew is going to decide to do. With seeing what Black Ops with Treyarch was able to pull off with Black Ops Cold War in just the short period of time of them doing, they got the kind of, hey, Sledgehammer's not doing this anymore, you guys are in charge, and it's like, oh, yeah, I guess we'll finish this idea that we had, but yeah, here you are. There's a documentary that I think IGN put out that is how the game was made in the brink of a pandemic, which I haven't not yet seen at this current moment in time, but it's super interesting to see what went on about that. Especially with them getting sprung up. They were like recording mocap in like people's living rooms. Like they sent them the equipment so that they could record the mocap and then send them all that information back. It's super interesting of like how they went on into doing this in a in such a, I don't want to say the name of it, but since the pandemic was happening, that's how it was going on. But anyway, I think that this is a definitely like I don't know. I haven't really been in love with Call of Duty games in a long time. But I think Modern Warfare with multiplayer and with Warzone kind of revived that for me. And then going into this as like from day one playing Call of Duty, um, I'm not, I kind of haven't said this to them, but I have bought the game twice, and I do own it on PS5 and on PC. And the
Oh boy.
PS5 version, it is I will say so I bought the PC version at full price. PS5 one, it was on sale, and I had a couple gift cards. So technically, kind of give or take of like how much money I actually spent on the PS5 version. But nonetheless, it is cool like how they're innovating the new hardware, especially with PlayStation 5 with the haptic triggers of where like each gun has this different feel of pulling the trigger on the R2 button, and it's super cool of just like that they're trying these new things for a game that's been around for over a decade. Almost actually I think now they're hitting in the 20 years of Call of Duty soon. But yeah, it's so good. I think one of the best Call of Duties, but I don't wouldn't say it is the best. I don't want to say that because it's I'd have to go back and play them all again. But I think it's definitely a solid entry from what Treyarch was able to do in such a short period of time. And I can't wait to see what happens like when Treyarch has the time to put in a really good campaign because of what I've heard, and I'm sure Tyler will talk about is because he has his opinions on the campaign too. It kind of ends really quickly, and so hopefully we'll get a little bit of a bigger campaign a little bit later because I know that there are people who still love the campaigns of Call of Duty. But obviously multiplayer is a big part of it. So, and they are one of the companies that they removed a campaign for Black Ops 4, I think. So it's kind of like, yeah. But anyway, so before I completely go off a tangent on just talking about Cold War, Spider-Man Miles Morales I have played on PS5. Absolutely gorgeous of a game. The holiday seasons of it with the snow and like the cool aspects of the style that Miles has, he adds his own flavor to being Spider-Man, because in the beginning of the game, Peter goes on a vacation, and so now it's like, oh, it's Miles' turn to like kind of be, he's got a little bit of training, so now Peter taught him some moves and things like that, and so now he leaves him for a little bit to kind of do his own thing, and Miles is such a cool character of just who he is as a Spider-Man, and it is his you definitely see the style of where he comes from his mixed background of Hispanic and African American culture blending together. You see that kind of going in. I am annoyed that he's not wearing the Jordans, but that's neither here nor there. But there's times like when like one of the things specifically like during the holiday season, there are wreaths around the whole entire city of New York, and he can actually like swing, and he does this like kind of spin move like through the wreath. It's kind of cool, but it's just like those little moments that you can have in that game are really fun. Plus there's some haptic triggers to the PS5 version where he will actually if you like thwip, like shoot your web to another thing, you actually feel the shot and the release of it. Like it's really cool of how they kind of let that mode kind of come in. And then The Last of Us Part 2 started playing it on PS4. We'll get back to it. And it is I've gotten about probably halfway through the game, and it is a solid game. I do like how the fact it does take place in Seattle, so there you go. But the game alone, I think, fixed a lot of the problems I had with the first game. I thought the combat was like you moved really fucking weird in the first game, and it's just super clunky. Even though a lot of people do kind of say like, oh, you moved pretty well. No, you don't. Especially going back and playing those games, it still wasn't good. But then playing in this one, and I played it immediately after I played The Last of Us. Like I went through The Last of Us remastered and then started playing this, and the movement is so much better. I think that obviously the dialogue and the voice acting from the people that are in the game are just so good. Yeah, I think that it's a pretty well-rounded game too. So those are my connections to why those three are top for me. Tyler, what you got? Cold War, Spider-Man, Last of Us.
You want me to just talk about them, or just like you want me to say which one I prefer over?
How
or what
about
we
how
doing?
about you? So talk about talk about those three of why those are top three for you, and then why don't you kick us off with what your vote is?
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go in the order of how much I know about them, starting with Last of Us. I looked up some of it because I actually wanted to play for myself, and I think I will be kind of soon. And I really enjoyed the first one. It's like a whole summer, ignored a lot of homework for that last one. That I still passed though, but I played it, really enjoyed it. So I was thinking like the next one is gonna pick up on that hype. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to play it. Shout out to little brothers for breaking their PlayStation 4 controllers. Gotta love it. Um, but like the hate I was seeing online just didn't match up. So I think I watched like maybe like 30 minutes of it. I was like, all right, I gotta say this for later. It was looking clean. I was like, all right, we gonna wait for that one. And going on to Miles Morales, I just honestly, if like I hate to make it something like this, but it's just the inclusion is what does it for me. Just I know people make jokes about it, but it's true. Like looking at him in the Amazing Spider-Man, that haircut, coming to his own game, having like an actual haircut that would be on just a regular African American teenager is something that is important because playing games nowadays I get to create my own character. I want to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to be you when game developers don't accommodate you. But Miles Morales, he has that, and like I feel like he takes on the role of Spider-Man in a complete different way that's unique to him. Like no one's gonna be Miles, right? He didn't try to be Peter.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. Like he did it his own way. Even like, in the trailer, like I forgot his friend's name. That like talks to him a little bit. He like you always talk about Spider Man, but you got to remember you're Spider Man too, and he did that. And I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Cold War obviously the one I played the most. Um, I didn't like the campaign. Be honest, I'm not one for short campaigns either. And playing it, I definitely like got the rush feeling. I can feel like you can tell where they spent most of their time getting shafted the way they did. Just like can't get hit with that news immediately coming off of Black Ops 4. It's like what the fuck? These are supposed to be going years. This was at that time they still thought they were on like the they get a break because I think the cycle was like Infinity War, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer.
It was reversed a little bit. Like
Or
flipped a little bit. So it
it's
was
Sledgehammer.
it was Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, then Treyarch.
There you go. My
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
No, but yeah.
So like they go in thinking, okay, we at least got like 2 more years to, like prep and just nope, we can't Sledgehammer. Get on this. It's like what?
Mm-hmm.
So like you could definitely see like some of the missions just didn't feel like they shouldn't even been in the game. Like I could have done without them. Like if I just take it as it is it good? Yes. But knowing like they're like the other Call of Duty campaigns that I've played, no, I'm not like a
Yeah.
fan. Like,
Mainly where you're saying like, is it to the caliber that Treyarch could deliver? And you're saying no.
no, yeah, because we played Black Ops 2. We played Black Ops
Mhm.
1. Like
Yeah,
those are
I could see that.
campaigns.
I could agree with that.
My favorite side note, my personal favorite campaigns aren't even Treyarch campaigns. Honestly, I really enjoyed Ghost and Infinity War.
Yeah.
Warfare. If you never play Infinite Warfare, that campaign is solid. Right? Don't let like space. No, it's cool. Like they do side missions very
Is that
well.
the Kevin
But
Spacey one?
no, that's Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
Infinite Warfare is the one with Conor
Kevin
McGregor,
Spacey?
Kit Harington, the guy who played Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
He's yeah, I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that I enjoy that game. I'm a COD fanatic. Well, not fanatic, but it's like that's the first FPS I decided to put time into. So I hope the special place there, being like 11 years old and telling your dad, "Hey, Dad, I'm finally getting video games." He's just nodding along because he doesn't give a shit what you're saying. He's like, "Hey, whatever, kid." But Call of Duty is like where I go to be competitive, and this one I feel like scratched that more than Modern Warfare did personally for me. I didn't like being bogged down. It's like I was super slow in Modern Warfare. So this one I was like, all right, you move a little bit faster, zooming around the map, and the revert back to the old mini map system, of course, was one of my favorite things because I don't like you not showing up on mini map. That encourage people to camp. Don't do that. That's fucking terrible. And of course, putting like perks and shit back in the game with Dead Silence, um, basically makes people think more how you set up your classes, more intricate ways. But I do like a little bit of like a meshing. You can see where like this one, again, going back to like the lack of time, like this one takes a lot from Black Ops 4. Like a lot of UI, how UI works. And like, when you kill somebody, you may see like how much damage you did to them or whatever. That like Black Ops 4 right there. But that like it's alright. Black Ops 4 was solid. This game, I'm really liking it. It's solid. So yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going into what my pick is.
Yeah. What is your vote for game of the year of 2020?
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales. That is one vote for Miles. Yeah. When I get down to it, you know, I will say, you know, like for my vote, Cold War is a good game, but I can't, and it is definitely a game that I'm, like I was saying, Call of Duty. I've just started getting back into it, and I am absolutely enjoying the game itself. Last of Us 2, I don't know what it is that makes me not want to play that game. Like, as much as people talk about how good it is so much, it's like the first one I think got overhyped for me, and I think that's why I didn't really enjoy it as much. I will say it's a top tier game and one of the PlayStation's uh like best exclusives for their console. But like I don't know, I just stopped playing Last of Us 2 and I don't know why I never went back to like complete it. So I really can't vote for it. It is a good game, and it is a reason why it is in the top 3, and I wanted to push it through. I just can't give it that. And Spider-Man Miles Morales, there's just, you know, I don't know. I think I like the fact that the character has a little more, you know, to it than in the first Marvel Spider-Man, because like in Marvel Spider-Man, it's like you already know who Spider-Man is. You already know, so don't worry about it. Like, just go and thwip around the city of New York. In this one, you know, you get to talk with his friends. You get to see, like, his mom. You get to see, you know, and with what happened in the last game, you know, you don't really, I don't want to spoil things if no one's ever played Marvel Spider-Man, but, or knows what Miles' story is. But there is some things that happen in the game that are from, you know, they pick up kind of a little bit after the first game. So that it kind of implies that Peter has been kind of teaching him. They show, like, this. It is a character evolving game for me, and I think there's a little more liveliness to what they decided to do with Miles, and so I'd have to give it to Miles Morales. I have to give Spider-Man Miles Morales my Game of the Year vote. All right, Ashton, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just hop on that wagon with you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I definitely didn't want to give it a COD, so it was really just down to The Last of Us and Spider-Man. So, I am pretty equally interested in both.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just call it unanimous. We'll just go Spider-Man.
Okay, cool. Spider-Man Miles Morales is officially our Game of the Year for 2020. As much as a lot of people would probably argue that Last of Us doesn't matter. It's our show. So Spider-Man Miles Morales gets our Game of the Year. And yeah, so there you go. Any final words for our PT awards?
Nope.
Shit, nah.
We're moving on.
Stay in your house.
What'd
Wait,
you
wait,
say?
are we done?
No.
We done?
We got one last topic.
I got a final message.
Oh, you got a final message? Okay, for that?
Later.
Oh,
No,
later.
yeah,
Okay. We're moving on to our third and final topic. Ashton, this is your topic. This is the 2020 recap, 2021 hopes. What are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about you know, we had some games that came out in 2020. You know, it was a decent year. It wasn't a terrible year for gaming. You know, all things considered, there's a couple delays. You know, we got quite a few delays actually. Some launch bugs and some things were rushed, and you know, it's just kind of a rough year, you know, for everything. But you know, there's some diamonds in the rough here. You know, it's always good to like look back on a pretty crappy year in general. You know, look at like the little speckles of gold that are in there, you know, somewhere. You know, we finally got Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not picture perfect right now, but you know, that's something to look forward to in 2021. You know, we're gonna get the full experience promised here in 2021. Early 2021. We're gonna be getting Halo Infinite in 2021 in the fall. It was a good year for memes in 2020. We got good old Greg, Halo Infinite,
Yeah.
that moon-faced motherfucker. No expressions. That was pretty great. 2021, it's everybody's gonna be, production's gonna be a lot better. Even if it has to continue, remotely, unless things get, the ball gets rolled. Everything starts moving forward. In terms of this whole situation we got going on. So, I'm looking forward to like a fresh year for things to get back to how they should be going. And there's going to be a lot of good games to look forward to here in 2021. So, I don't know. I'm happy that 2020 is over and that 2021 is upon us, and it should be a lot better than 2020. And if it's worse, then God help us all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely there's some games to look forward to, and we've kind of made a list of games that we're kind of on the lookout for. And yeah, I think it's definitely been a little tough on us when it comes to 2020 as Primal Target. Obviously, we weren't able to make Bitcade as frequently as we wanted to. There is things that we started and we weren't able to complete because of things that happened with the pandemic, and we're trying to reassess the situation of going in and trying to figure out what we could do to keep making that content with also creating the content that we do on Twitch. It was easy for us to make the transition and to make Twitch our main source of content creating. And luckily, we already had a sort of established thing going into what we had already done with Twitch. We were already affiliates, so we didn't have to make that jump. We didn't lose our status as that. We were able to pick up where we left off, plus bring over the Mixer people that Ashton was amazing at establishing over there. And so it's definitely been an adjustment of a year. But I think that 2021, we're gonna try and work harder and try and make it so that it all those content and things with video games in general are gonna be good. I mean, there's some solid games coming out next year, or actually when you're watching this year, and and hopefully it keeps going into, all right, let's slowly start to start this little engine that could sort of thing. We've gone up the mountain, and hopefully we can start soaring down the mountain at a point. And but yeah, here's hoping and praying. Tyler, you have been on your own journey as well over there on Twitch and content creating for yourself. So how has 2020 worked out for you?
It's going all right. It's definitely it's ending still on like a shit note, but it's better than like the beginning. Like dealing with what I had to deal with, like going to school because I was in college at the beginning of the year. Uh, I managed to get through that, and the shutdown with Mixer, of course, fucking sucked for everybody. And getting back, Twitch is going well. Try to make it work now. Trying to do some YouTube stuff. But yeah, I just want next year to be better. Right? I want to finally get my degree. Like to be told, like, hey, you have all your credits to graduate, but we can't clear you to get your degree. Is like what? So dealing with that at the moment. But it's 2021. Be better as a content creator. Better life wise. Upgrades to my stream, upgrades to just overall quality of life would be great going into next year.
Mm-hmm. So kind of going a little bit, shifting gears to keep it, as not self-pity as we all have done, because it's just been such a defeating and diffusing year. But it has had some of its, its benefits, like Tyler was saying, is we were all part of Mixer, and I was not so much, but you guys were doing so great over there, and then had to make that adjustment, and Ashton and I had that pretty long discussion, and like, what do we do? Do we go to YouTube? Do we go to Facebook? Do we go back to Twitch? And honestly, I think that Twitch was the good answer for us, and so it's hopefully it keeps growing. I mean, we're trucking along every other day, at least a follower here and there, kind of thing. So that's always fun. But games to look out for though. I thought I'd bring this up with the Medium coming out on the Xbox platforms and PC.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
coming out in January. That's kicking off the year. So by the time, actually, that would be coming out pretty soon, in a couple days. By the time you're listening to this, or has already come out actually, because this is part 3, so it already had come out. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. But yeah, that's the Medium is that kind of split reality sort of game. How are you guys feeling about that one?
I'm excited.
That's more so for him, not really for me. And like I don't like horror games, but I'm not like huge on them. I'll definitely try to give it a shot, but it looks good. I'll probably watch Ashton over here play it and make my decision from there if I want to like jump into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that I'm like, maybe it's gonna be as good as Resident Evils have been, or maybe it might not be. It's definitely this is made by the guys who made Layers of Fear and the Blair Witch game that just recently came out. So it's in good hands, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. In May we get Deathloop, the Bethesda exclusive game to, I guess, PlayStation, which is kind of weird. After that whole thing, Microsoft now owns Bethesda, so we'll see what kind of happens here. But yeah, how are you guys feeling about Deathloop? It is the
Oh,
2-person.
come out.
No, go ahead.
Wow. No, that's supposed to come out like it has been shown for so long. I kind of forgot it until you just brought it up.
Yeah, May
Like,
21st actually is when this is coming out.
yeah,
So
that was shown like 2 years ago, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, last E3,
Yeah.
which we skipped this year's E3. So yeah, 2019.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the game looks alright. It's not really like top of my list, personally.
It was shown before to 2019.
Yeah, it was shown in 2018 as well.
Yeah, heavy Dishonored vibes from it. I don't mind it. I just am confused on what the hell you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I'm a little bit too. All I got is that there's 2 characters and you have 24 hours to do something, I guess. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Ghostwire Tokyo. No date as of yet or when we made this list. So Ghostwire Tokyo. It was a PlayStation exclusive, and I think now it's multi-platform. So how do you guys feeling about Ghostwire Tokyo? Kind of weird, spooky sort of game.
Yeah, I'm always down for a spooky time.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that many like first-person horror games
Yeah.
that are like action horror. You know,
Mhm.
like Resident Evil kind of cornered that market with Resident Evil 7. So it's interesting to see like where this ends up soon.
Yeah, yeah, agree. I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah, you're totally right. God of War 2021 is, that's when we're expecting the next God of War, probably going to be a fall sort of release, if not their winter release. Ashton, you said you were kind of looking forward to this one. What are you?
For Halo Infinite?
For God of War.
Oh, God
so
of
not
War.
what I said,
Sorry.
but yeah.
I heard fall, and I'm like, oh, Halo? God of War. Yeah. I played a little bit of the first one. I've actually seen the ending for it. I'm actually super stoked for the second one. And now I have a PlayStation, so I'll be able to play this one in its entirety. So
you can play the first one for free if you have PlayStation Plus. So there you go.
yeah, I got
okay.
I've already seen the ending, so it's like there's not really a
All right.
point in playing it. But yeah, I have a PlayStation 5, so I'll be able to play that and get a nice next gen experience for that. That'll be a fucking beautiful game to see. And I really love like Norse mythology and stuff like that, so it's kind of right up my alley. I am super excited for that.
Tyler, you are a little bit of a God of War. I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. God of War fan. How are you feeling about the next God of War?
Hopefully, I get to play because I didn't get to play last one. I've seen a lot on it, and like, I'm supposed to be playing it soon once I get like the PlayStation in order.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to get this next one. I need to try really hard because that ending in that last one that didn't sit well with me personally. I don't really like what happened.
Yep.
So I don't want to say none because probably people out there who haven't played it. I didn't play it, but I looked it up willingly, but I didn't really enjoy it. So I got to see what they do with this next one.
Gotham Knights also on the list here. This
That
is
actually
the
looks pretty
Batman.
good.
I think is dead, and so then it's up to Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl to do their thing, which is immediately I love the whole concept of things. Of like, first off, I love Batman.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite superhero, and not like he
Really?
is. Batman's my favorite. Yep. DC and Marvel.
Alright.
It's he's my overall. Just because I like the stories and that he's a part of a lot more than like, because it's a little bit more of like, oh, it's a grounded reality. Plus the villains are like top tier in the
top tier
Batman
villain,
universe.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's kind of like what's interesting is like there's not really that great of characters that are villains unless they're touched in the Batman like villain sort of situations. But yeah, I'm a huge Batman fan. I have comics and in little figures over here. But yeah, it's yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to see what that's all about. Especially if they say it's like a 3. You said multiplayer. You were about to say that?
I really hope.
Yeah, if there's like a 3-player co-op situation going on, top. But I think that DC, it being with whatever Warner company that they're gonna like set up, they've been really good at making games. So I'm hoping that like this is not a Marvel Avengers situation.
Speaking of Warner, I mean Hogwarts Legacy, am I right?
Hogwarts Legacy is also coming out possibly next year. That's gonna be pretty cool just to be in that universe and to have this like, I hope it's sort of Mass Effect-y, like if that makes sense. Or you get to like make your character and like you can kind of do whatever you want and like decisions and choices. If it's just like, hey, go fuck around in an MMO, which I don't think is right. Well, go ahead.
You know what I hope they do is they do a like 5 or 6 year plan, and every year like the game fucking changes like every year at Hogwarts.
They might do themed event. I don't know what they would do. That to me sounds like an online sort of thing. But you were talking off camera about a possible. You want it to be kind of like Destiny, but in Harry Potter world.
Yes. Not to that extent, but like I don't know, like in the movies you don't see like a lot of difference in terms of like everybody has to wear like their school robes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like there has to be some sort of customization.
Do you think they'll have you do like the Pottermore test to like put you in a house?
I kind of hope they do.
I do too. It's like, oh no, you don't just get a pick. You have to like take the test sort of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, and then afterwards, like you can like still pick whatever house you want to be in because all you have to do, is ask the sorting hat.
Yeah, where they like, here's the one that we think you should be in, but you can pick whatever one you want. Like, I hope they do that.
That would be awesome. It'd be super like easy to do too. So I mean, it would not take much coding like at all to do that. So it would literally take someone one full day to do. Yeah, I really hope they do it. I don't know. I hope the game has some sort of like PvP. Like how they have I think it is the second. Yes, it's the second movies they brought in like the dueling.
Yeah. Chamber of Secrets.
The long table. Yeah, in the Chamber of Secrets. That would be sick to have. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to have like social spaces too, because I know it's going to be like more of a single player experience, but I think it'd be really cool to have like a social place for like everybody to like hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could hang out in the dining hall with like you and your friends.
Yeah.
Or have it to where it's like a 3
4 Wizard's Chess co-op. Or something like that.
Yeah, or at least have like 3-4 player co-op where you can like run through this shit with your friends.
Do raids in the fucking Hogwarts, dude.
Yeah, fucking sick
that would be pretty cool.
Fucking go training in the room of requirement. I mean, come on now.
Let's hope. Speaking of hoping, we're hoping that this game is really good. You two have been doing some extensive research on it. Halo Infinite also set and slated for next year. We've kind of touched on it throughout this episode, but like any final things you want to briefly touch upon?
No, just that I'm super excited for it. They just better they better have a way better launch than Halo 5, otherwise Halo is probably going to die. So
give me a battle royale. 343. I know you're listening.
I don't care if it's a battle royale or not. I'm gonna play it anyway.
I want it. I want it so bad.
It wouldn't be too far fetched for them to do a battle royale. I mean, people could end up making maps for it technically, and then have that in rotation. I mean, that'd be fucking sick.
Tyler,
but,
what are you thinking?
Yeah.
Halo Infinite. I don't think we've touched on what you thinking about it. If you're still here, I don't know if he's muted though. So, we'll move on to we'll come back to him on that.
There's another game that's coming out.
Yeah.
Back for Blood comes out in June.
Oh, that's right. I don't think I even added that on this list.
Back for Blood, man. Turtle Rock Studios, the OG Left 4 Dead creators. They don't own the rights to the game that they made. Because,
Valve is Valve.
Yeah. So they made a new version, and they did it pretty much independently. So they did team up with Warner. So I don't know what the licensing agreement is for that. I don't know if they're just funding it and they get to keep their IP this time or what. But yeah, I played the alpha. The alpha was awesome, and I'm really excited for that game to launch. I'm going to play the shit out of that come June.
Yeah, and there's, I don't know, I'm just looking at all these games, and they're just some. I'm just going to read off a few that we don't really have too much information on, or aren't really that much of a talk about thing. But Mass Effect Legendary Edition's coming out, which is going to be the current gen consoles, Xbox Series and PS5 updates for those games, and it's going to be all in one collection. I don't know if Andromeda is included in that, but I sure as hell so, because that's the one I have not played. But the mainline Mass Effect games are so good. And then they announced that Mass Effect will be returning, so this is kind of hinting at maybe some people to kind of entice people to come back into the Mass Effect universe. Oddworld Soulstorm, I'm not really an Oddworld fan, but you have kind of were in the past at this point, or you just kind of know about it?
Yeah.
Roller Champions, we played that at PAX. We actually did a video about it, and actually it was really fun, and I was hoping that it was coming out sooner than later, but we played that back in 2019, so it's and still not out yet.
I'm curious as to what's going on with that, because I mean it was pretty straightforward. It looked like it could have been released in the next few months, but we just have not heard anything.
Yeah, it played well. I don't know what's going on. I think you can get it on PC, but it's not a full game yet. So I don't know what's happening with that. Shin Megami Tensei 5 was supposed to come out on Switch. They announced that back when the Switch was announced. Then State of Decay 3, we saw little snips. We saw a little trailer this last year. And Warhammer 40K Darktide is next Warhammer game that's coming out. We saw a little trailer of that at I think E3 or whatever, when everyone was doing all their presentations this year. It wasn't E3, but you know what I mean. And then what else we got? We got Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which just looks absolutely cool. It just is a cool game, and I don't know if we're gonna do much content on it, but all I know is I'm fucking buying it. So, and then let's see, what else do we have? Resident Evil Village. We're big Resident Evil fans over here at Primal Target, so I'm anticipating that it will also be really cool, especially since we got some revealing of a character at the end of Resident Evil 7, and so we're probably going to be picking up a little bit after that. I'm not sure if we're going to be the same person, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But
Probably.
I don't know. Could we?
I doubt it, just because of the way it was.
Yeah, but then the person, well, it's in the trailer. Chris is in the trailer, so they've already revealed that. I don't think we're gonna play as Chris though.
I don't think so either.
He's kind of seeming like he's a little bit of a bad guy now, which I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I think I've also heard rumors that Leon might be making an appearance as well, so I'm not entirely sure what his role in that thing is, but Chris Redfield has officially been confirmed in the trailer that we saw earlier in 2020. And then the last one we have written down here is Lord of the Rings Gollum, which I think got a trailer, but that's about all it's gotten so far. So
yeah.
So anyway, Lots of games to look forward to. Hopefully they all come out this year. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's all I got for that. Anything else you want to talk about? Hopes and recapping and everything?
No, I think that about covers it. I'm excited. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yeah. 2021. Hope everyone enjoys it. We're back. Bitcade is back. We got a plan of what we're gonna do with that and how we're gonna make more episodes. And we just wanted to record this back in December to make sure that we at least had it for our anniversary of Primal Target. Our official year 5 has begun, and yeah, let's get it going. Anything you want to say to the people before I officially roll us out?
Sure, you come stop by our streams. We're both streaming now. For those of you guys who are, haven't been in the loop for a while. Twitch.tv/primal_target. I am Mondays and Wednesdays. Ryan is Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Hell yeah.
Check it out, man.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Bitcade. If you guys want to follow us on all of our social media, links in the description below for all of you guys to click upon for your enjoyment. Check out primaltarget.com for all of the hub and take you anywhere you want to go. And then you can journey on forth in watching us, like how Ashton was saying, on twitch.tv/primal_target when you want to watch us live. And you can follow me at Ryan E. Moore. You can follow Ashton at
Sticky_Ash.
Yeah, I know you changed your handle, so I wondered if you remembered that. And then Tyler, are you still here? He is not, but go check him out on what? Oh, maybe I don't know. Not mid conversation. I think but yeah, go check him out on his stuff too. I will link all of that in the description for you guys to go and check him out. Go support him on twitch.tv/Pluviio, which is PLUVIIO__. I believe it's 2 underscores. There he is. Okay. I don't know where you went, but there you are. And so yeah, that's gonna be, what was that?
Handling family stuff.
Okay, got it. I figured it was something, so we just kind of rolled on, but it's all good. I plugged your Twitch. Anything else you want to plug in, or are you still nope?
Your final word thing that you're gonna say.
Yeah, stay in the fucking house.
There you go.
Yeah. It's funner there anyway.
Yeah, you got video games there, and you could talk to friends.
So stay home.
Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is gonna be it. That is Bitcade. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Dude, yeah, my bad. I'm on that.
I gotta wipe my ass. I'm like got crazy small ass, like sweaty fucking gooch going on. Need to like get like a towel and like dab it. I don't know.